Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit, actually 2-minute model kits tonight, and hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or if you just feel like lurking, go ahead and lurk. John is here, Ghost Valve is here, Lashbrook is here. Got a great crew already. It is the first stream of the month. It is June 1st. Happy Pride, everybody. If you are an ally, if you are not at liberty to be out and who you are, if you are just fucking chill, like whatever. I never came out. I just stopped caring that people know. Or if you're out there making a fucking scene of yourself, welcome and happy to have you here. And Lord Crashing's here. Welcome, Lord Crashing's here. We got a great crew already. Looking forward to tonight. We are going to be finishing up the Heindree. Heindree is almost complete. We have to work on the backpack and the shield, and then the shield that is also a gun and a lance, or a spear, I should say, for no apparent reason other than that's cool. And then we will get started with the RGM-79FP GM Striker HG, which I'll be referring to from this point on as the GM Striker. Before we got really started, John did say, got some tough counter programming tonight. Indeed, tonight is the final goodbye stream from Waypoint. Austin Walker is on the call at this moment. He wasn't the whole time. They've got just about everybody. Mike Diver not there. Danielle not there. But just about every big employee. Of course, there are also people who really helped behind the scenes in that company. But they never, like, Gita worked for Motherboard. So it's like one of those things. It's like, I don't know. So it's, but of course important for the site as well. But a lot of them are on there, and that's really nice. And I listened while I was getting prep for the stream. I had them on. I was happy to hang out because Waypoint's been a site that I read and podcasts I listen to. I think podcasts are the most. I mean, I certainly read things from them, but I wasn't on Waypoint every day. Never joined the Waypoint Discord. Wasn't on the forums. Because that's not how I engage with stuff. But listened, sent some emails in on occasion. I was on the Waypoint podcast before. Indeed. Oh, okay. That's weird. We're at 41 out of 40 subscribers, but for whatever reason, my dashboard, it was just like, hey, you've hit your goal. And it's like, yes, I have. Okay. That was weird. I'm now, so that's a strange thing. But whatever, it let me know, that I hit my goal. So great. Thank you. Thanks a lot. But yeah, I was on the podcast, I think only once. I want to say I've only been on once. I was on 2 different live streams. But that goal also popped up for chat. That's very weird because I've been past the goal. Maybe I dropped down to 39 for a second, and then someone renewed, so I went back up to 40, because I'm at 40. I'm at 41 channel points with 40 subscribers, so whatever. They were talking about how Vice nearly bought Giant Bomb, which has been wild. Yes, so for a little while there, Giant Bomb, there were conversations where Vice might have bought Giant Bomb. Obviously, that didn't happen. I'm sure there are more things out there of, websites, media conglomerates that were interested in that. Yes, indeed. It's there's some brand recognition there. There's also the subscriber base, which is very interesting to people because the big question is how do we get beyond ad, we're only going to run ads on websites for so long, and ads on podcasts seem to work, but that's a hard sell, and you have to have dedicated people, and the idea of, well, people pay these folks money every month for certain content, and you can look at some numbers. We can show you some graphs and charts. It's like, oh, that sounds good to me. I don't know anything. This would have been well before CBS ever sold them off. Yes. So this would have been like buying them from CBS Interactive, who owned a bunch of websites, that they didn't know what to do with, and in some cases didn't know they owned. So yeah, makes sense to me. All right, I'm going to retweet my tweet. See if we get a few more friends to join us tonight. Let's get into building here. We'll get into that. I can get excited over spreadsheets. I mean, if it's a good spreadsheet. Look, I said this, and I mean this. There are people out there who are like, I have no idea what's going on. But if you shape information in a way that I can get excited about, I would love that. Because being excited about part of my job makes me feel like I'm doing something. And it doesn't even matter if it's accurate or true or feasible. But if you can get someone excited about the thing that they have no interest in otherwise, it's pretty good. I say this from experience. All right, Heindree. The Heindree here. I'm getting a lot of shake, and I don't know why, but I'm getting a lot of shake tonight. I might have to readjust some stuff on the overhead camera, which I will not do tonight. I played this guy. I play my work. I want the numbers to go up. Indeed. No, Lord Crashington, we don't have an earthquake. What we do have is my camera is mounted on an arm that is attached to a table next to this table. It used to be on this table. And that's a bad call because if this shook, then the camera shook too. Now the camera is still shaking because I am on carpet, so I can't fully fully separate these tables. They're next to each other. The carpet means that if the table shakes, this shakes as well. But when it was on the table, it would shake. The table would shake and the camera would shake at the same time, so it would be like double shake, and that's terrible. And nobody likes that. So we still do have, unfortunately, some shake here, but it's not as bad as it could be, and we'll take that. All right, so here we go. Here, we are now working on the backpack for this kit. We'll put that over there. So there will be some shaking, and my apologies. What I can do is I can move this desk over a little bit, and that will help a little bit for Saturday's stream. I didn't notice a shake until you said something, and now I can't unsee it. I'm sorry, I'm John. Yeah, I mean, your eyes will kind of adjust for it. It helps that I'm not in full, HD glory. This isn't as nice as it could look, and I think you would notice it more. You did not notice a single bit of shake when I was out of this room. That worked out really well. And when I was streaming in the office. When I was streaming in the office, that one stream I did pretty recently, I set up my arm on an incredibly heavy set of shelves that my table moving did nothing. It affected it in zero capacity, and it was actually kind of great how little that had any influence on anything, because it was just like, what are you doing? Yeah, whatever. But unfortunately, because of the way the carpet is here, shaking will shake. Things will happen. So yeah, Waypoint Vice. I am sad to see it go. I was thrilled to be on there. At the time that I was a guest, I was hyping anime and talking about video games. I believe that Patrick was on, but it was in person at the Vice office because at the time there were several employees that lived in New York. So we recorded in the Vice office with Patrick on a call, which was fine. That worked out great. And it was recorded, this is pre-Kato and pre-Natalie. And so it was recorded, but after Danica. It was recorded by Tim Barnes, audio engineer Tim Barnes, who is a Vice employee his day job was recording podcasts for people, and his night job was telling stand-up jokes. He is a TV writer. He worked on the All That reboot and has written several other things. Back in my day, Kata was just a mod, indeed. But yeah, I had lots of good interactions with Tim. Tim and I follow each other on Twitter to this day and joke around a bit. And then, of course, I would see him do stand-up gigs, and I'd always be like, oh, there's Tim. I met him at Vice. But yeah, I was happy to be a guest on that. I was happy to be a guest on the first 72 hours. I literally just DM'd Austin, I believe. I believe all I did was just DM Austin going, hey, you know I'm in walking distance of your office. I could just show up. Also, I could be up late at night and I don't care. And he was like, yes, okay. Talk to this person so that you can get in and then we'll have you. And I met Danica, who I knew on the internet briefly. And one of my favorite things about that, the 72 hours that I did with them, which was very fun. I showed up and I got there early because I was like, I'll get there early because maybe they'll want me to come on an early segment, whatever. It was very casual when I did my appearance there, of course. I showed up and I was just in the green room, which was just part of the room they were filming in off to the side. And I sat down in a chair and I looked over and I was like, hey, we follow each other on Twitter. And I met in person for the first time of several times, Sailor B, Victoria from Crunchyroll, because of course Danica came from Crunchyroll previously. And she was just hanging out. So it was very fun to just be like, hey, we follow each other on Twitter. I'm this, but a cartoon, because that was my Twitter image at the time, was just a cartoon version of me, which was very helpful when introducing myself to people. I did the same thing for many people who were like, hey, we know each other from the internet. Hello. And she was like, oh, yeah, hi. Hello. That was very fun. And then also just being on there and hanging out and getting to know Danica and getting to know Danielle and just being around for lots of goofs. Waypoint was really cool, and I am sorry to see it go. It is not a surprise because they can just have Motherboard talk about video games. And they don't need a video game vertical. I mean, they should have one, but I understand. Also, Vice is trying to lean up as they sell that shit. You know? So, it makes sense. This might be for the best. Because hopefully, they signed all their severance agreements before the bankruptcy stuff started coming out. One would hope. And they'll be covered. That's my hope anyway. Is that they're all going to be cool. Let's throw this backpack on here. But yeah, I've known the fine folks at Waypoint since day one. I did know that Waypoint was a thing that was happening before it happened. Obviously not the name. I knew Austin was doing something cool. I didn't know about Patrick because Patrick and I are like friendly. We've been friendly for, God, I think he and I talked on the 1UP forums about shit years and years ago. But, when he showed up at Giant Bomb, I sent him a DM being like, hey, dude, you're at the site. I'm glad. I think my message to him was, I'm glad you're on the site I like. Implying that he had worked for companies I didn't care about, which is true. I didn't give a shit about MTV News. I certainly didn't give a shit about fucking EGM Now. So I was so psyched that Patrick, because he and I talked a bunch when he was in LA for G4, maybe? What was he in LA? Wherever he was when he was in LA, we talked a bunch because, I would tell him about the cool shows at UCB because he was a big, he wasn't the biggest comedy guy. Really, it was, he liked Lost, and sometimes Lost actors showed up at UCB LA. So I would tell him about those things. And he also liked, he did go to UCB stuff out there. So we would chat about that stuff, and I would give him heads up. But yeah, when he showed up at Giant Bomb, I was like, hey, I'm glad you're at a site I like. But we didn't talk when this is not going to stand up like this because of the backpack. That's not fun. Whatever, I'll do it like this. You can see the top down. When he took the job for Vice, I didn't know. We hadn't chatted about that. But I had heard, oh hey, there's going to be a new site and people that are going to be there. And it's going to be cool. I was like, oh, all right. They were talking tonight about how there was a time where Vice was very cool, and as a New Yorker from the year 2001 till 2020, I can tell you that there was a time where Vice was super cool. And then it was still cool with people that I thought were a little questionable. People I didn't necessarily like too much in my day to day still thought that Vice was pretty cool. And then it was not fucking cool at all. At a certain point, it was very not cool with people. But I will just that's mainly just to say there was a time where that was a cool website to work for. But Bleeding Edge, because like you may remember Vice magazine having like basically just having like photos of people taken in public they made fun of. A certain shitbag from Vice who went on to do all kinds of great stuff after that, one of the shitbag founding members of Vice, was a guest on a show where they took photos of people waiting in line to come in and then made fun of them. That was his segment of this comedy show. And I'll let you know right now, he was not funny enough to get that audience to not be mad at the idea. So, a guy that clearly wanted to be liked and tell some jokes, the audience was just like, "You did what? Why would I like that?" I figured out how to get all those photos off a digital camera projected, so that was my accomplishment. And then I was like, I wish I hadn't figured out how to do this, because this sucks. Because they brought a camera and took a bunch of photos on the camera, but it didn't it had a weird size memory stick, so I couldn't load it onto our computer. And they didn't bring any cables, but I figured out that the audio out cable was also a RCA out. So I was able to jury rig a thing and show off some poorly taken photos of people who were smiling because someone was taking a photo outside a comedy theater and they didn't realize they were going to get made fun of by a fucking future Proud Boy founder. Good times. Sometimes good times. Sometimes not good times at that job. Sometimes that job was not good. Anyway, all of that to say, fucking bummer. But yeah, I mean, like, I remember, this is so fun. I don't think he remembers this, but at like the first PAX that Austin was at, right? I knew some of Austin's writing from other things, and I knew Stream Friends because I had a couple people I liked were in the Stream Friends collective. So I knew of Stream Friends. So I was like, when Austin got hired, I was like, oh, I know Austin's a good writer. He's fun. He's like a fun, gregarious guy. He's very like thoughtful. And I was like, oh, Austin's good. That's going to be an interesting hire for Giant Bomb. I think some people are going to be very unhappy with him being in the as far as audience goes. And I'm like, and that sounds great to me. But I remember going to the first PAX since he got hired, and I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Pat. Just want to say hi, whatever. Like like what's up? And he's like, oh, hey, man. So I'm going to get a D&D crew together. You in? And I was like, yes. And we didn't do that for like 3 years, 2 years. It was a long ass time between like literally Austin was like, oh, hey man. Yeah. Hey, do you want to do a D&D thing on Giant Bomb? And I was like, yes. And we didn't do that until like the Christmas episode of, I'm not convinced there was a podcast. Maybe you might remember my history is fuzzy sometimes. The details are fuzzy. The general vibes I always get, but the details sometimes are fuzzy. I don't remember if there was a Giant Bomb East podcast when Austin got there or him showing up. There was a Beastcast at the time. There probably was a Beastcast at the time. It would make sense because they had more than him in the office there. Yeah, because that makes sense. There'd be a podcast because there must have been at least two of them. Maybe Dan was already there by the time Austin came in. I can't remember. They started with just Vinny and Alex and probably Jeff Bacalar. It would make sense that it would be the three of them. I know Jeff came in early. Yeah, because Bacalar was the rotating chair. That's right. They said rotating chair and then only had him, which was funny. Always good at the time. That's always a good gag. So they did have a podcast, but like, I remember that was like the first thing he pitched me, and we didn't do it for a really long time. And then there was one year I didn't do it because the day they recorded, I was traveling and couldn't do it. And then they did it one more year, and I didn't get invited back, and I was like, nah, that's okay. I had a good time doing that, though. That was very fun, so I was happy to be invited. Also, by that time, they had a lot of people that could be on it, so it made sense to not include me. But yeah, my time with Waypoint was a brief couple experiences. I've talked about this pretty recently, about how there was the time that they were doing the Trans Lifeline fundraiser stream, charity stream, and they all left to go take a big Waypoint and motherboard photo because everybody was in town, and left me on the stream by myself, completely alone. And I didn't even have the controller. I was just like, oh, all right, I guess I'll just. And my eyesight's okay, but in that room, I could not read chat well. I could kind of read it, but not well. So I couldn't even just interact with chat. And so I just went on a fucking rant, a positive rant, and I tried to do like a donation like thing, because I was like, oh, let's okay. Lord Crashton says, looks like it was Vinny, Alex, and Jeff for episode 0, and Austin joined episode 1. That's right, because Jeff became like the rotating fourth chair. That was the joke. And then Dan came in. Okay, so there you go. Austin joined episode 1. So, yeah, so that podcast barely existed, and Austin was already talking about doing a D&D thing. And we didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know if it was going to be in the office or what, and then we didn't do it for a really long time. But, you know, that was like his first pitch to me, which is very funny. Also, I looked back at my promos that we shot for Austin for League of Heels that were in the Vice offices. We found a weird room, the Red Room, and shot in there. And then we did another one just like in a hallway. That was very fun to shoot those things with Austin, to go to Vice. That place, their recording place is still, or their offices is still like a cool building. That was still fun to go to. Like I said, very close to where I was living at the time. Walking distance. It was a bit of a walk, but it was still cool. Speaking of Austin, on this Today in Giant Bomb carousel on the site is the video introducing Austin to Giant Bomb. That's right, yeah. He left, his introduction video is in June, and he announced he was leaving Giant Bomb at E3, which was also in beginning of June. June is very important to Austin's time at Giant Bomb for some reason. Yeah, I remember his like, oh hey, it's Austin. And for whatever reason, the still frame with that video was like, a lot of people use that for whatever reason. Like if you Googled image searched Austin Walker, the still of that introduction video came up a lot for people. And that became like his like unofficial headshot for a lot of things. People would just use that photo because it was high on result. It was like early result and like decent quality. But that was just a video. Yes, the legendary picture of him at his desk. Like I said, yeah. Became a whole thing. You know what video? You know what image I can't find that easily anymore? I think it was Sonic Boom era Sonic. Jeff Gerstmann smiling with a thumbs up, like with his arm around Sonic, is a photo I can't find any, like a good quality version of it. I can't find it anymore. And I used to have it somewhere because I would use that when Jeff did 404 or 404ing it, because that's just a good photo. He never really went to E3 that much. I regret that I've never, not E3, PAX. I never had Jeff Bacalar on 404ing it. Jeff Bacalar and I've talked like a bunch on the internet and in person some. we've never talked about how I named my thing 404ing it, and he was on a podcast like the 404 for a very long time, and we never talked about that. Like, it existed way before I did my thing. I didn't copy it. It's a known thing, but it was weird that we both had something with 404 in it for a while. And then also there are the 404s, which is an internet, not internet. It was a Canadian improv group that some people I'm friends with to this day are in. And I did not know they were an improv group called the 404s, but of course they were. They did anime, improv, and other stuff or they had a couple different groups. But 404s was their like name for like general conventions. And then they had a name that they used for anime conventions that was slightly different. But it is a very strange thing. I'll say 404ing it, not a creative name. The least creative name I've ever come up with. Lord Crashin says, I found Jeff's tweet with a Sonic picture if you want to post in the Discord. Please post that in the Discord. Yes. I don't know when I'm going to use that again, but I'd like to have that photo. There was a 404ing it with Amaris Sullivan and Danielle Riendo and Jeff Gerstmann, and I didn't know what I like to theme my photos, and I didn't know what to do with a theme that year, and then I realized that Danielle had a photo with her puppy at the time, and Amaris has a lot of photos with her and bunnies because she has owned bunnies for many years, and I was like, oh, I'll just use Jeff and Sonic, and that will be very funny to be like, oh, it's these two people with their real animals and Jeff and Sonic. And that was a very funny juxtaposition. All right, so now we're doing one of the weirdest things. We're putting a small shield on a gun. A weird thing about this kit. And then we're going to put the lance through that. And I don't know why. And then we'll twist that. I don't know why this is the way it is. It's very silly to have like a big shield and then a smaller shield where the gun and also a spear. Right? I'm calling it a lance because it's in there. But this is just one of the silliest fucking things. It's just so silly that I love it. I love it very much. I love this silly idea for this kit. This is normal for Tears of the Kingdom. Indeed. But is it normal from Witch from Mercury, which is what this is from? Where's my eraser? Oh, here it is. I realized I got too much black on this here. This just, yeah, it's just silly in a way that I can really get behind. And then we got to get the shield done here. We need E11. We are almost done with this kit. And then we will start a new one. So yeah, I think that's my thoughts on Waypoint and all of that. It's a shame. I guess I'll say that. It's a damn shame. And I hope everyone lands on their feet. I hope that Patrick Klepek can stay in media and journalism. I hope that he does. Look, man has 2 kids. Got to do what he's got to do. Gotta do what's necessary. So I totally understand if he ends up in PR for some kind of company, games or otherwise. Totally understand it. Would not be, would be sad, but would understand. They haven't officially announced it, but people have already found their next thing. Yeah, I'm sure people have found stuff, but I hope that for the sake of our industry and the things that we care about, I hope Patrick stays in games and games journalism. But I don't know. I think, God, Kato's skills they can go anywhere. Kato would make any kind of media company better. I think Rob's work ethic and voice and writing makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's never been a worse time to be in games journalism. Is it true? That is an unfortunate true. She's like, where do you go? And when does another site start? Could another site start? I don't know. I don't know what big conglomerate doesn't have a gaming vertical that suddenly would want a gaming vertical in 2023. I just don't know. Which is a fucking shame. Of course. All right. Ooh, hey, I want to tell you, friends, this shield pops on real nice. This has got these little indents, which we didn't use on the Pente, the kit we built last. But these indents just pop in here. And ooh, that's on like butter. And it stays on too. And then you can do this, and boom, you got a shield. Now you got yourself a shield. That is really nice. And that's the Heindree. I know nothing about Gersman, but this sounds like the perfect time for Jeff LLC to sprout up. I mean, look, I don't know the books. I don't know. I know that Jeff has a third coming on the down the pipe, so I don't think Jeff is ready to expand and have like employees. I do know that like, Lashbrick says, guess they're about to announce it. That's good. I would love for them to announce if anybody there can say, hey, what we're doing next. If they're doing stuff together, that would be rad. Not everybody can do the Nextlander thing. I think it helps that like only one of the Nextlander guys has kids. And I think that helps quite a bit. But not everyone can do Nextlander. Not everyone can do Kind of Funny. Not everyone can do Jeff Gersman solo work. And so whatever people end up doing, hell yeah. Jeff priorities are to get the garage cleaned out for the new kid is born. Yes, he's going to like go and hang out with people a bit at not E3, and then that's about it. Yes, priorities indeed. And then see what's up. All right, I'm just going to do it like that. I'm going to cheat it. All right. Can I get this to look somewhat good here with this backpack? We'll see if I can get this to look at all good. I might have to take this backpack off for my overhead photos. Same priority, but no kids on the way. Indeed. Sometimes you just got to get shit done. And to see if he can coach his daughter to win Evo and in Street Fighter 6. Yeah. Briefly, we'll talk about some games now. Not what you're playing. What I'm not playing. Let me tell you about what I'm not playing tonight. And what I'm not playing tonight is I'm not playing Diablo 4 right now. I would love to be playing Diablo 4, but I'm not. Because a friend of mine was like, hey, I want you to be able to play Diablo 4, which is incredible. He's like, happy early birthday. Unbelievable. And I was like, great. And he was like, but I'm gonna give you the money for the regular edition, and if you want to upgrade yourself, you could, I guess. And I was like, no, this is incredible. I'm gonna get that. I'm not gonna get either the like digital deluxe or the ultimate, because I don't need the season pass. The season pass doesn't do anything for me. I don't think this is not going to be my everyday game. This is going to be my like, I'm kind of done with Hitman for the moment. I'm taking a break from Hitman. I need a video game that's just for me, that's not a streaming game. If I was streaming it, I might want to get the battle pass, all that other stuff. I'm just going to play it when I play it. So that's fine. Well, I can't play Diablo 4 right now until Tuesday. Other people can play Diablo 4 because there are editions where you can get in early access. I didn't get that shit. So I am going to be playing Diablo. It's just I'm not playing Diablo 4 right now. And I would like to. Street Fighter 6, I'm not playing that, early or otherwise, because I don't play a lot of fighting games. The last fighting game that I played was Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Because that game kicked ass. And I had a bunch of friends who really wanted to play some Dragon Ball fighting games with me. And I was like, yes, let's do this. Moonshine wants me to hit the dance button. I got a new dance song. Let me take a photo of this and then I'll hit the dance button here. Let me see if I can get this to stable. I'm trying to do an overhead shot because overhead shots always look better on this than standing up. Okay, so that looks pretty okay. Can I get it stable on here? I'm just going to take this backpack off. We do get June music, John. We have a new song because it is the new month, and it's pretty good. I think you'll like it. All right, I'm going to take just a clean overhead shot here. I'll figure out which of those photos is better after the stream. We're going to get into a new kit. But first, here's this music. Thanks for using your channel points for this. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Lord Crashman also wants me to the dance music, so here's the dance music again. Bow. 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 I love a song where you know 100% that it was done on a computer. 100% computer. There's no live instruments on that because those horns sound computer generated. There's just no other way to look at it. That's not a real thing. It's fine. I think that's a fine enough song. This is on the list, and I was like, yeah, you know what? We're going to go with this one. It's pretty good. Okay, so this is the RGM-79FP GM Striker, which will HG, of course, which we're referring to as the GM Striker. It has one of the silliest ideas in Gunpla, in Grunts, which is, what if instead of holding your beam saber, we stuck it on a fucking pole, and it's a double beam saber like lance? That's dumb as hell. It rules. Also, a little bit of orange, a whole lot of gold, and green, which is this color combination is not good in my personal opinion. This is some bad choices were made on this. This is a kit from the year 2006, so it should be pretty okay as far as model kits go. I do like the GM Striker. I think this is going to look good. I like the GM line. What series is this from? I don't remember, John. I'm going to do a quick little here. Here we go, GM Striker. I'm going to go look at... okay, this is from the Gundam Wiki, so it will tell me that this is... What is this from? Tell me the show. This is on... okay, here we go. Harmony of Gundam, which is a manga series, and as well as Mobile Suit Gundam, We're Federation Hooligans. We're Federation Hooligans! ! And Gundam Suit, Mobile Suit Gundam Katana. So it's a manga kit. This is a mobile suit that you would find in the manga. It is of course based on the ground type and the RX-782 Gundam, but more on the ground kit there. And it's a little bit like the GM Type C and all of that. But yes, this is a manga kit, which is fun. Beam Javelin is what it's called. Twin Beam Spear is another name for it. Twin Beam Spear. And of course, it has a grapple shield. I don't know if this kit, I don't know if this build allows the shield, like if there's a grappling hook. Okay, yes. So the shield, like things pop out of the shield here for grappling, which is silly in a way that I very much enjoy. Good nonsense with this kit. One last thing about the Heindree before it goes away forever is that it will be back. The Heindree I'm going to make glitter at some point. I don't know what other kit. We're going to have one stream coming up in the future. I don't know when. But one stream in the future, we will take that kit and we will, of course, put glitter all over it. It'll be one of two kits that'll get that treatment. That's coming in the future. Not now. At some point. But yeah, this is from Hooligans and Katana. It's early enough that it doesn't number in numbers that I can read easily. Stickers, you have to go by symbol, and that's frustrating for me, your friend Pat. Also, it's got polycaps. Ugh, right? We got so used to building kits that didn't have polycaps. It's so weird to do that. All right, we talked about Waypoint. We talked about Diablo. Let's talk about mixed bag wrestling, and then we'll talk about bummer wrestling. But we'll start with the mixed bag thing, which is AEW Fight Forever. Fight Forever. Clap, clap. $60 pre-order as one version of it. Base price $60. Clap, 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 clap. Waypoint is dead. Long live Remap. Okay. I will be happy to learn about Remap in an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you for letting me know about Remap. I will learn all about Remap in an hour and 15 when I am no longer doing this. But congratulations to whoever is a part of Remap, whatever that is. They renamed their Twitch channel. Or they rated it. Okay. I'm now looking at Twitter, which is a mistake. They took everybody and rated Remap Radio. Okay. They got a website. They got subscriptions. Remap Radio. I'll follow it. I don't know. They're not following anyone. Smart. Remap Radio didn't follow anyone, which is very smart of them. And they got a website. They got some sort of subscription service that is their own. They got a memberful. Okay, sure. I'll learn more about all that later. It's a pro move. I'll say that. Yeah, I would say rating the thing your new channel is very smart. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Remap Radio doesn't have like information, which would be nice. But yeah, they're all there. Okay, cool. Good for them. I mean, I'll hit follow. I'm following them on Twitch now. Remap Radio. So cool. Good for them. Yeah, I don't even think it says like what the whatever they're doing, but they're doing something. That's for later now. Watch Pat and look up Gundam Hooligan. Yes, indeed. We'll read more about that later. Good for them and whatever the fuck they're doing. I mean, if they're making a go of it together, that sounds rad. Congratulations. I hope for nothing but good things if they're making a go of it all together. That sounds great. That sounds scary as shit. And if any of them are doing this while they look for other work, I also think that's totally reasonable and good for them. If any of them are looking to get out of it, or this is an experiment, like I think that's totally fine. I don't know. I'll hear their business plan at some point and figure out what's going on. But congratulations to them. Hopefully their website will say things at some point, and I can look at it and go, sure. What am I giving you $120 a year for? I wouldn't do that to you, but whatever. Like, what's up? What is this? What's this going to be? I'm not saying I was burned. But it was a bummer that Waypoint Plus existed, and Austin knew he was leaving Waypoint. It was a little bit of a bummer. I was still proud to be able to subscribe to that for a while. But it was like, all right, okay. I mean, good. Austin's creatively fulfilled and doing something cool, so fuck yeah for him. But we were talking about AEW Fight Forever, which is $60 for its base price. Now, what if you wanted to get the Elite Edition for $80? Well, of course, you get the game. Of course. You get the season pass, and you get two versions for pre-ordering the Elite Edition. You get two versions of Matt Hardy. You get just Matt Hardy and broken Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, yeah, broken and regular Matt Hardy. That's kind of fun. That might be something that people want. Is this the right piece? I don't think this is. It's weird that the Eddie Kingston trailer was the thing that sold me most on the game. Nothing has about this game has sold me for a second. I pulled the wrong piece out here. Nothing about that game. I don't think No Mercy is a good video game. So I don't know why I would want Ukes to make another one in 2023 or 2020, whenever the fuck they started working on this game. But I don't think those games were good. And when like the single player like story mode is just that mode, I'm like, ugh. I don't know. If it's really fun to play, it's really fun to play. But like everything they've tried to sold me that I've been sold on this game, I'm like, I don't know. Like down to the fact that people don't have full ring entrances. It's like, ugh. Really? You could do this, so you're stylistically choosing not to? I don't know. Anyway, you can play a day early. You can load it and play a day early if you give them $20 more. For $20 more, you get a season pass, two versions of Matt Hardy, some mini games. You can load and play a day early. The season pass is FTR, The Bunny, Keith Lee, Hook, and Danhausen. So you get Danhausen and Hook, The Bunny, Keith Lee, and FTR. Look, the people I know who are way into fighting games are like, that's a great deal. And I'm like, well, as someone who's not super into fighting games, especially modern fighting games, is like, I don't agree that that's a great deal. I don't know about that. Also, part of the big pitch was, hey, you watch Dynamite, it'll be out on Thursday. So, because that's the Thursday releases, so that like they can really do a big thing that Wednesday and be like, hey, when Dynamite goes off the air, just wait 2 hours and you'll be able to play the game. But there will be plenty of people who will pre-order it, who will buy the Elite Edition, and who will play it all day that Wednesday. So they could have just put it out on a Tuesday, or they could have just put it out on a Friday. Instead, they're doing a weird Thursday release. I don't know. I am glad that Eddie Kingston looks better than he did in that screenshot that was going around from apparently months and months ago. That they took a pass on Eddie Kingston and made him look better because they really did him dirty. Eddie Kingston has incredibly terrible luck because all of his action figures from AEW look like fucking trash. And then that screenshot that was going around looked awful. I don't know. There was some video going around of like Chris Statlander and Darby Allin skateboarding around, and that's stupid. I appreciate that. There's some real stupid looking stuff in that game. I don't like the thing where you do a power move, like a signature move, and then you lose control of the camera to replay the cool move you did. I think that breaks the immersion. You know, like, I don't know. There's a lot about that game that I'm just like, I don't know. I hope it does well enough and they make another one in 4 years, I guess. That's kind of my take on it. Just so you know, I don't plan to play that game on stream or purchase it. If I am gifted that game, I will certainly take a look at it. But yeah, we're not going to be jumping from WWE 2K23 to Fight Forever in terms of having games that we're going to be doing CPU versus CPU matches in. So that is right now, that is not something that I'm looking to do. Because I don't even know if you can. I have not received an answer if Fight Forever is going to have CPU versus CPU matches, which is important to me because it's the thing I like streaming. So we'll see. Speaking of streaming, because we have a new month, next Tuesday's stream, because I hadn't talked about it, so I'll just chat with you briefly about that. Next Tuesday's stream is going to be more Pokemon Platinum Randomizer, because we just defeated a gym leader, and I think we can continue doing that shit. I also really like it. I know it's not my most popular Tuesday streams, but I really enjoy it, and I like catching weird Pokemon and all that, and this is the farthest I've gotten in a game in one of these, because through circumstances we had to start new ones. Sometimes circumstances, sometimes I just wanted to. So I'm a little bummed this was a sticker and not plastic, but it does mean I don't have to panel line it. And it looks okay. As far as it is sparkly or shiny as far as a red sticker goes, so not the end of the world. But again, I always do prefer plastic over paper when it comes to that. But what are you going to do? Also, this came with like extra beam sabers, which is always nice. I do like these stubby beam sabers. We got more of them because we need 2 at least. So that's fun. We'll get the chest done and the backpack done, and then we'll panel line. This kit's order is strange. We're going to build the chest, and then we're going to build the head. Chest and then the backpack, and then the head. And then we're going to build the gun and the lance, and then the shield. And then we'll start on the shoulders. And that is very strange. That's very odd to me that we're doing that. But that's the order this kit decided it wanted to work in. So that's a weird thing. I don't know. I'm going to drink a little water here. Even before we take a break, which will be soon. But I need a little water. Okay. All right. Okay, we talked about Fight Forever and all that. Now the AEW news that I knew was coming, but I didn't want to think about. But it's true, and it's happening. Announced on Dynamite that CM Punk is going to be at the first AEW Collision, their new Saturday show. A thing that people knew, and then it looked like maybe it wasn't going to happen because things were getting heated, and so then they didn't say where the first one. They announced like, hey, we're doing it, and here's some of the dates, but they didn't announce the first date and location, and then it's like, oh, it's Chicago. Because it makes sense to do it in Chicago. If this is going to be CM Punk's show, then you do it in Chicago. But then he wasn't, then they were like, oh, maybe he's not going to be there. And I guess he's going to be there. And it's a shame because people I like are going to be on that show, I'm sure. Because Samoa Joe, who has just been, Joe is so happy to be on Ring of Honor and have a less busy schedule and to travel less. And like, it works out great. Joe is very psyched about it. It was weird because I missed Dynamite to see Shin Kamen Rider and coming out of that and seeing Twitter. That probably is pretty weird. I would say. But yeah, it was just like, oh shit, that's happening. All right, I fucking guess it is. Like, of course it is. But yeah, I mean, like, look, am I psyched that Miro is coming back and Thunder Rosa is going to be in ring shape again? Sure. Am I happy that Scorpio Sky, who was injured, Scorpio dropped the TNT title because he needed surgery, got the surgery he needed, and then just sat at home, was ready to come back, has been ready to come back for months, but they were like, we don't have anything for you. We haven't figured out what to do. We'll let you know. And he's just been waiting. So I'm really psyched that Scorpio Sky, who I think is incredibly talented, will be able to be on fucking television. And, FTR is going to go over there, I'm sure. And I guess Hobbs is going to be there because Punk really likes Hobbs. And it'll be like, fine. They'll all be over there doing their thing. I'll probably watch the first 50-something minutes of every episode because it's 8 to 10 and I stream at 9 on Saturdays. Somebody did ask me if I was planning on changing my streaming schedule because I used to do bonus streams on Wednesday and I switched to Tuesday in part because I wanted to watch all of Dynamite with friends. That's not the only reason. I think Tuesday is a better day than Wednesday for me in general because I wasn't doing anything on Tuesday anyway. And my numbers are a bit better, so why not? But I am not going to change. Saturday is going to continue to be Saturday, especially with it being the Punk show. Like, my interest is just so much less about anything that he's involved with. I was happy that on Wednesday there were some boos. Because to me, it's just like, yeah, I don't want that. That guy sucks. Like, what do you want from me? Like, why should I be excited about that guy? Like, nah. I want them to make a belt just for him, like his own secondary world championship belt, and they make a belt just for him. And then he doesn't headline pay-per-views, even though he's a world champion, because there's a bigger story going on. Because I know he'd hate it. Also, if he becomes a world champion, then he'll get injured, because that's just statistics. Look, I'll say that. I'm mostly joking about that. I do think that old Phil is accident prone, because I don't think he trains outside of when he's wrestling. So I don't think he's in great ring shape. I would never, ever, ever wish injury upon someone just because I think they're bad news. I certainly would not wish injury on him for that. I am predicting injury, which is a different thing. That's different than wishing bad on someone, is being like, yeah. Well, good luck, my dude. That's a different story. I am predicting that he will get injured very soon because he has proven that is a legitimate concern. But I am not out here saying I want him to get injured. I would never say that. I'll say this. If there's going to be a whole night of annoying wrestlers that I don't want to see, I hope Sammy Guevara ends up there. I don't like looking at his face. I hope Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal end up there because they suck for different but compelling reasons. I would love it for Darby Allin to end up there because Darby sucks as a human being. He's an exciting wrestler and people like him and he's with Sting, so he's never going away, but Darby sucks as a human. So I'd be happy if he peaced out. Yes, there will be a blow-up Lashbrook. The first press conference he's in, I'm sure that he will be garbage. Yeah, yes. Lashbrook, you had mentioned that on the Discord, which I understand. Lashbrook is done with the product. The return of CM Punk is the last straw for Lashbrook, which is understandable, and I get that. So I've said this before. I still watch WWE. WWE does a great job of fucking pissing me off, but people I know in real life work there that I want good things for. So I stick around. And I'm in a similar boat with AEW, Like, there are people I have known in my day-to-day life that work for that company, and I want good things for them. I wish they didn't have CM Punk also working at that company with them. But I am probably going to stick around with it. Now, like I said, I'm not changing my life around to watch Collision. What I might end up doing is watching the West Coast replay of Collision after my Saturday streams. I might get in the habit of doing that and not watch the first hour. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I will tell you this about wrestling. I watched a really good wrestling show last night after Dynamite. Dynamite was a fine episode of Dynamite. The Rampage that they're doing this fucking week with 4 matches that are all title defenses, none of which are AEW titles, which is very funny. Just banger after banger. Zack Sabre Jr., Shibata, Willow, just like incredible, cool. Oh, and then the AAA Mega Championship. Commander and Dralistico and Vikingo. Like, that just sounds fucking incredible. That's going to be a real good Rampage. I do wonder what they're going to do when Rampage gets Yeah, so Collision is going to get preempted a lot, and I don't know what they're going to do. And also, I don't know what they're going to do when Rampage gets preempted and they already have Collision. My assumption is they just won't run a Rampage the week that they would get preempted. They'll just be like, no Rampage this week. Because they'll run it an hour before Collision. That doesn't make any sense. Also, can they get 3 hours of TNT time? Who knows? They might have to do that thing where they do it at like 5:30 in the afternoon. And they just do it early again. That's probably what's going to happen, is they just have a really early stream. Or, not stream, but really early. All right, so I got to put tiny stickers on the side of this. And then I got to put some things on the back of this here. Let's do the tiny stickers first. These are tiny. There's these. I want to say they're these. Yeah. Like black in the center, and then, yeah, I think that's it. I got to look at this. It's hard. Stickers of this era are difficult because, you know, these are tiny, these are color correcting, and these are not the easiest thing to read here. Also, these stickers probably are going to look bad, but whatever. This is on the backpack, so it's like, I think okay if these don't turn out great. Yeah. Yeah, this is just like to approximate depth, which I think is kind of neat. I think the sticker is kind of cool looking, but kind of annoying. Anyway, yeah, I'm bummed about this whole CM Punk thing. I think it sucks. I wish he was just gone. I wish he wasn't coming back for their new show. I wish they didn't think they needed him for this new show. Obviously, they're paying him and they want to, you know, get what they need on it. But, like, after his fucking attitude, it's just like, come on. Oh, cool. They moved 500 more tickets for that after he announced. And people were like, well, look, they announced that CM Punk's there and they sold 500 tickets immediately. That means that people are just so excited about it. It's like, how many tickets did they sell before that? Oh, 7,000? Cool. So he moved nothing. Because they already sold a lot. Because Chicago likes... Oh, it's the first one. The real thing for me will be, how are the numbers at the other places that they're going? With the idea that CM Punk's going to be there. Outside of Chicago, his hometown venue, what do the numbers look like in other places? Are those also getting bumped up because CM Punk's going to be there? I mean, maybe they are, but I don't want to be negative about a thing I like, but it's hard not to sometimes. Anyway, we don't have a lot of folks here tonight, which is okay. So I'm still going to do the pause for the cause, but I'm going to do the lightning version of the pause for the cause. And I know I'm sure there's somebody out there being like, why don't you do the lightning version every time, Pat? And it's because I need to make money. So, but I'm pretty sure everybody watching right now is a subscriber. So it's like, I only need to do so much, and I think it's okay. If you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Let the people know. Some folks might be watching the VOD later. What's up? Hey, Heindree. Thank you, Claire. I built that kit in 2 streams. Thank you, Claire, for picking that up. You're watching the VOD. I appreciate you. And I got YouTube archive and all that. I didn't do an archive of my stream on Tuesday where we watched old wrestling because several of those companies would hate that if I put on YouTube a full match from, you know, years and years ago with me doing commentary over it. They just absolutely would hate that. So it would just get blocked or completely taken down. And I might even get a content strike. So I don't want to do that. So I didn't do that. Instead, we're just hanging out. But yeah, subscribing, you could gift a sub. There's no one on the gift sub leaderboard because it's June 1st and we reset that. So if you wanted to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that. That would be rad. You know, or you know, subscribe yourself, gift to a friend, gift to an anonymous, you know, anonymously, take the credit for it. You could do that. Other things. I got a Patreon. Hey, Umjan is now at the gift sub leaderboard. Give a gift sub to Falcon Boom. Thank you so much. Let's give a shout out there to Umjan at the top of the gift sub leaderboard with a gifted sub to Falcon Boom. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Appreciate you, Umjan. The top of the gift sub leaderboard. I got a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. Now you're like, well, Pat, it's the first of the month. That's a terrible time to join the Patreon. But no, it's rolling submissions. Subscriptions. So if you join today, you don't get charged again until the next month. So get on board. It's cool. Any day's a good day to join my Patreon. I got a YouTube channel. I would love for you to subscribe to that YouTube channel. Watch my shorts. I'm putting shorts up now. My first thumbs down on the shorts came out for the YouTube video where I tell people not to wear blackface, which is from a stream here. Thank you for clipping that. I put that up on YouTube Shorts, and some people didn't like it. Where I was like, hey, if your mask and makeup you're wearing makes it look like you have blackface, don't do that. Weird, some people didn't like that message. Blah, blah, blah. What else? What else? What else? What else? Join my YouTube. Oh, those are all ways monthly to support me, but you can always make a one-time donation. I got to keep this train moving. I got to keep buying model kits and equipment. And a way for me to be able to do that is with your generosity. So if you want to buy, if you want to make donations, you want to join me in places, you could do that. I've got an Amazon wish list. You could buy something there. Hey, my birthday's on June 23rd. Save the date. June 23rd, a Friday. I'll be streaming for my subathon. I'm going to try to get to 86 subscribers by doing a bunch of dumb bullshit. So you could jump in on that. But you can also buy me a gift for my birthday if you want to buy hey, I got this motorcycle, Lego Technic motorcycle. We've never done a Technic on stream before. There's a 2-in-1 motorcycle thing. It's a birthday gift for kids, boys and girls, which is awful. It's terrible that it says that. But I got a bunch of Lego stuff. I got some model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that never go on sale, kits that look just rad as fuck that I would love to build on stream. And you could buy me my third Delanza. I've built 2 Delanza on stream before. Buy me Lauda's Delanza. It's just pretty much the Delanzas. It's got like a different shield. Why not? Let me build all the Delanzas they put out there. But yeah, I got all kinds of stuff on this list that I would be happy to build. And you could buy it for me to do that if you wanted to. Obviously, all these things are optional. Go to USA Gundam store, buy a gift card there, send me a DM on Twitter or whisper here on Twitch if you wanted to do that. Or go ahead and just go to my throne wish list, see if there's something there you'd like to see me build. You could do that. That's different from this, and you could do that over there. I should just check my my messages here. Okay, my messages are good. That's good. All right. And, some people are liking my photo for Pride. That's lovely. Love to see that. Happy Pride, everybody. Said that at the beginning of the stream. Might as well say it again. We'll say it a lot in June. Probably. Repping my Drawfee Pride shirt. Repping the Drawfee shirt. Love this Drawfee Pride shirt. Is the second one of theirs that I purchased. The other one had got fucked up in the factory, and I never replaced it. It's a printing error. What was I doing now? Oh, yeah. I got a Discord. Join my Discord. It's full of lovely people. You could jump in there. That'd be cool. Hop in the old Discord. We'll get back to building in a second. Talk about some anime. I got anime to talk about. A couple video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I got an episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. It is me ranking all 14 Crunchyroll originals. I'll have a new video up on Monday, but if you haven't watched me ranking using Tier Maker, I haven't used Tier Maker in a while. It was fun to jump back into the old Tier Maker. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and then perform a character, and I promise that I have practiced it a little bit. It is not improvised, it's written and then performed. And this was the 20th one. It's the 20th week of the year. Can you believe it? We're already in week 20. And this video came out, and it is, wait, this is the wrong one. This is number 21. I put the wrong video out, everybody. Hold the fuck up. I didn't update. I have a episode 21. I forgot to update in here. I gotta change that. Oh no. I sent you the wrong link, everybody. Because that was episode 20. This is 21. I remember that. Yes, the soapbox. I got a new one for you. So let me update this. I forgot to update this. I'm usually pretty good about updating in my Word document or my Google Doc with the information that I put out there, but I didn't do that. Here's at number 21, the soapbox. I play a character named Randy. Randy tells it like it is. And in this one, he's talking about something that nobody else is talking about, but he thinks is important. I think I'm probably going to do Randy and Randy Soapbox again because that's a fun character. I have written down in my list of characters another thing from Randy's Soapbox. So someday I'll come up with an idea that will fit for Randy, who really just needs to say what's on his mind. He's speaking for everybody. He's not. But yeah, check that out. And then we'll talk about some anime. Only 2 shows to talk about tonight because Oshinoko had a recap episode, which is fine because I'm watching it, but I'm not loving it. So I'm okay with missing an episode of that. A show that still has the best opener of the season, but not the best content, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to talk about some anime, but first I'm going to drink some water, so we're going to do that, and then we will keep working on this backpack right now. All right. Let's talk about some anime, everybody. I got a cheat ability in a different world and became extraordinary. Even in the real world, we are now officially past the manga. Because the latest chapter of the manga came out in between last week's episode and this week's episode, and then this episode went past it. So I am now in unfamiliar territory when it comes to this anime, because I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on with this thing. Which is a fun place to be, because this is still an enjoyable series. All right, so I need A25, which is, that's 24. It's 26. I need A25 and A24. Okay. Cool backpack parts here. Okay, so I got a cheat ability in a different world. This episode, again, I'm now past the point here. So, our last episode, we found out that Luna. Luna was the girl that was in the forest. We knew she was an assassin, part of the assassins or the Dark Guild, and she tried to kill the princess and was stopped by Yuya. And Knight certainly knew that something was up this whole time. And it's just like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. But he wanted to know what was going on. He wanted to know the reason. And also, Lexia, more than like wanting to know why this girl tried to kill her, was more like, hey, why do you know this girl? What's your relationship? Because Lexia is interested in Yuya. Which he's definitely not interested in her. And so it is like, I mean, look, there are like a lot of girls at his school. There's that model. Like, people are into him. And like, sure, I get it. He's charming. He's hot. He's like got a good personality. He's clearly magical. And in the magical world, they understand that. And in our world, he's just fucking cool as hell. And it's weird that he's so fucking cool. Why is he so like powerful and cool and strong and weird? Well, whatever. We don't know yet. They don't know yet. I need A6. A6 is... Where are you, A6? A7, 5, 6. This piece right here. Got it. So we hear about uh, Lexia questions Luna. Luna reveals her whole story and how she was raised and how she knew the Guild of Darkness. She was like, look, either I was to be killed for in this attempt, or if I failed and they were going to kill me. They still don't know that the person that hired her was, of course, her brother, Lexia's brother. We haven't, like, that hasn't been revealed yet. Makes sense why they wouldn't know that. They don't know that. All right, so okay. And she's like, yeah, I would be killed. And then Luna's like, okay, well, you're my rival. You didn't kill me. I win. This is your punishment. You're now going to protect me, which is a fucking wild thing to say to the person that just tried to kill you. That would have succeeded if it wasn't for the guy you like and his incredible dog. That you'd be dead. But you're like, all right, well, that's not how she wants to win, because they both really like Yuya, who does not understand that, does not pick it up. But yeah, they enter a partnership. And then it's dinner time, so we get it's a fun little scene of Lexi is like, I'm going to cook dinner. And she has no capacity to do it because she's the princess and she never has, and is clearly terrible at it. And it's a fun little bit of business. And then Yuya cooks food and everyone's really psyched about that. And everyone's just like, oh, wow, what can he do? And then they all spend the night at the place. And then he's like, they go and find the people that were looking for them, introduce everybody. Knight gets introduced. There's a little scene where the head of the Knights, the Royal Knights, is just like thanking Knight the puppy for helping saving the princess. It's just like, yeah, you should be helping that Fenrir pup. You should thank the Fenrir pup. Please thank Knight. Knight is a good boy. And then they're like, they see them off, and then they're like, this would be a great spot to set up our bath and to hang out, or the open air bath. And so they do. And then there's a scene of like him being like, this is the life. And like Knight barks. And then there's just like agreement noises from a red boar, I guess a scarlet boar. There's just a little boar, a little pig friend is just there. And the pig friend is just like, yeah, this is really nice. And he's just like, what? And then the message pops up that Yuya has tamed the boar. And then the boar's like, wait, what? Like noises that indicate like, oh, yeah, all right, I guess. And he's like, wait, you're okay with that? Okay. So now there's two animal friends, because there's also... So now, I guess in the real world, he's going to have a dog, a puppy dog, and a pet pig, I guess. This pig is named Akatsuki. Akatsuki, because that is the red sky, because it's red like that layer of sky. And everyone seems very fine with it. Yuya's like, okay. Knight's like, sure, I guess. Everyone's just like, yeah, I guess I've got a pet now. I got another companion. He's also pretty strong because he was in the Forbidden Forest. So, cool. But we don't get to hang out with that pig too long because he's got to race back to school because Golden Week is now over. So he didn't meet the king because of all of the shenanigans. He didn't get a chance to meet the king. So he's like, yeah, tell the king I'm sorry, and we'll reschedule. So back in the real world, in our world, there is a soccer. There's a sports day, and Yuya is the goalie. He catches an impossible ball that he should not have been able to catch because he's so awesome, and then he throws it so hard and fast that it goes through the opposing goal. Because he's not too sure about the rules of soccer because he never did sports. That he's just like, was that good? What did I score a point? And everyone's like, what is your deal, dude? It was pretty funny. And that's the end of the episode, except that after that episode, after that's all done, there's a shot of what appears to be the boss of Miyu, Miyu, the model that was looking for him. Apparently, her boss found him at school, which is so. I guess the subplot of him being a model for a day and meeting a hot model, apparently that's going to continue. Which is like, I mean, I guess you could. They did the effort to like introduce that character in the manga, and I guess the light novel as well. So I guess you do that. I don't know. I'm not surprised that this character is now here, but I'm not like, oh yes, the character that everyone has been waiting for, the model's boss. So I guess that's setting up more for that, which makes sense. It does make sense that they would set that up. And that's that episode. I got a cheat ability in a different world and became extraordinary even in the real world, which continues to be totally watchable, especially now that there's a fun pet pig. And, now that we got an animal friend that's a pig, that's very exciting for me. I'm very happy to see that. So we're putting the head together here. It looks like there are no stickers on the head because we do have this lovely clear blue piece. This piece looks rad. So we got that going for us, which is nice. So we get that going. And let's start assembling this with a little panel line it. We got D, which is the face piece. It's got to go. All right, so the other anime we need to talk about, again, because Oshinoko has no episode out this week. They'll be back next week, which is fine, because, again, I'm not super into it at the moment. I will say, it is interesting to do a kit that has no stickers, a head kit that has no stickers. That is an interesting thing. I rarely build a head that has no stickers in the front or back. That is an odd thing. But we're doing it. It does have a cool visor, though. Cool visor. Oh, I didn't even say this, friends. Before I get into Sacrificial Princess and King of Beasts, I cut my finger a little bit doing some yard stuff and some home repair. I had to repair a bird feeder that hangs via cable. The cable snapped, and in the process of doing some new wiring for that, I cut myself a little bit. So I had to go like this with the Band-Aid, and then I had to go around. Basically, there's a Band-Aid on here holding the other Band-Aid, and so it looks like I really fucked up my thumb, but it's just two different Band-Aids, and I think it looks worse because they are the clear Band-Aid. If these were not clear, I think this would not look as like, oh, what the fuck did Pat do? I just cut myself a bit, and I don't want you to see it because it's on my thumb. Hopefully, it will look way better on Saturday. But I did think, I did figure I should mention it because I hadn't yet. All right, let's panel on this sucker. And we'll talk about the Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. So we last left our heroine, Seraphi. She had been kidnapped. Mitten just saw a Band-Aid and soon we just got nicked on something. Yeah, so, but I didn't bring it up. I should have at the beginning of the stream, and I didn't. So Seraphi got kidnapped by her childhood sweetheart. And by that, I mean a guy who has a one-sided affection for Seraphi that she didn't know up until now has the hots for him or her, who hates beasts, which is like, sure, fine, whatever. But he did kidnap her, who clearly did not want to go with him. Fucker. So the mythical beast Bennu that Seraphi summoned decides to lead the charge because they have a magical connection, a link. So Bennu and Gwibber and Leonhardt try to track her down because Bennu can't be understood by Leonhardt, but apparently the Gwibber can translate, which is nice. And Illa, who is the guy that kidnapped her, Illa comes across a bunch of hyena men, and he kills all of them, but Illa tries to go and kill a child that is just there, hyena child, And Seraphi helps the child escape because, like, why? What are you doing? But he's like, no, all beasts are evil, and also I'm in love with you, which is just like, all right, dude, she's engaged to be married. Come on, I know you hate that, but like, come on. And she's just like, no, just like there are good humans and evil humans, there are good beasts and evil beasts. And he's like, no, all beasts are evil, obviously. And they like, and some beasts killed my mother and sister. And it's like, oh, well, that sucks. But also, like, that ain't what we're doing here. You're a kidnapper. And then he's like, well, we're still going. So he ties her up, and Leonhardt shows up, and they fight. And Leonhardt could have instantly killed this dude, but holds back. And, of course, by holding back, gets stabbed. And then Illa, who, again, could have gotten fucking one-shotted, gives up the will to fight because he finally notices, like, oh, Seraphi is not brainwashed or coerced. She generally has affection. They have affection for one another. Oh, I'm the fucking bad guy here. I don't think he goes that far, but to recognize. Bennu ends up showing up and healing Leonhardt, which is great. And Illa's like, you have to protect her. It's like, yeah, dude. Who tried to kidnap her? Great. It's you. You're the fucking problem here. Bennu flies Seraphi and Illa to a human territory so they can say goodbye, and that way he's in the human territory because they don't kill him, which makes sense, but also could come to bite them in the back. Sounds a lot like that bad Mortal Engines movie. Yeah, I mean, like Jatsu. Also, hi, Jatsu. This is like probably the least good part of this show so far, which has been a pretty slow, like these characters, like against all odds, like are finding common ground and their affection for one another. And like, yes, a lot of their affection is tied up in the fact that she, for her entire life up to this point, thought she was going to be sacrificed. And so her captor, who also was going to let her escape and wasn't planning on killing her, she decides like she's going to stick around. And it's like, yeah. So like, look, did Lionheart kidnap her? No. Her own family decided that she was raised knowing, and she knew, her Seraphi means sacrifice in their ancient language. Her whole life she knew was forfeit. And their relationship, Leonhardt, the King of Beasts, and her, have come up with the fact that like he's part human and she's the only one that knows about that. And that's why he's never actually killed any of the people that have been sacrificed, because he's part human and he doesn't want to kill humans if he doesn't have to. And they're making their relationship work. It's muddied, but they are both coming in for like, he was like, I was totally willing for you to run away, as you probably should. And she's just like, I have nothing. And, and they have a connection. And it's like, okay. And so like, yes, it's muddy and bad and all kinds of not great. But you're rooting for them to like figure it out. You want it to work out on some sort of common ground for the two of them. Let's see. And then, hey, it's time to return to the palace. And, it's a weird thing where she's had a lot of enemies in the palace, but like she's kind of turned around. Like this is the first human they've ever really enjoyed. Like, to spend any time with. Also, she clearly makes the King of Beasts happy, and everyone's kind of psyched about that. So, like, they're just like, everyone's excited. Except for Anubis, who right now we have not had his comeuppance, because Anubis told the king that she left willingly. Anubis lied and said that Seraphi had run away with her childhood friend, which is obviously not true. She was kidnapped and taken by force. but he lied. So he's not happy to see her back. And they have a garden party, and Seraphy has like, ooh, I bet this is foreshadowing things going even worse, because of course things are going to get worse. They kind of have to. You need to have plot. Seraphy kind of ponders like she can't erase the hatred between beasts and humans, but you know, right now a beast and a human are happy together. He is half beast and half human, so it's proof that at some point that can work out. But yeah, sometimes this show doesn't have like the best animation, but the backgrounds are goddamn gorgeous. It is a pleasure to watch it. The voice acting is top notch. There are some shows that are real trash out this year, or this season in particular. Besides content, even the animation is just unbelievably awful. I forget which show is out there. There's a show out there right now where I think it's the one where the guy has to pretend to be the hero because he accidentally killed the hero. I think that's the one. It might not be that one. It might be the guy who dies and gets reincarnated in the world where there are no gods, but what the world is left with besides gods is just a totalitarian dictatorship that sucks. And so, like, his only solution is to get people believing in the god that brought him there because he is her only follower. It might be that one. I can't remember which one, but one of these shows, not only does it do, like, bad CG mixed with okay CG mixed with digital, I got to find it out. It was brought to my attention by Mother's Basement. This fucking show... Again, I think it's the one about the guy who accidentally kills the hero and has to pretend to be the hero. They took real photos, real video of like a threshing machine and just put the character from the show, like an NPC character from the show, face over this real photo and then like did like a... like a filter on it to make it look like a cartoon, but it doesn't match with the cartoon face. That's a different style. And it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I'll do the research and point it out, but it's unbelievable how bad it is. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. 'Cause like we've seen, I mean, especially as somebody that reads manhwa is like, that, coming out full color comics weekly. They do a lot of this. Background is definitely a real photo of an airport that they have like tried to mesh in with the world and make look good, and they're doing their best to like make it look like it's part of the style, but it's clearly this was the reference photo, and instead of using it as a reference photo, they're just using the photo. That's pretty common these days, unfortunately. In manhwa, and you also start seeing that in manga as well, people on deadlines and all that. But it was funny to me to be looking at it and be like, oh, they're just like, yeah, superimposing this shit. That's unbelievable. I want to say it's that the one that did that is the hero one, because that one is one of the only shows Crunchyroll is not putting up like clips of, is that one, and I have to imagine it's because the animation quality is so bad. Oh, we had some drop frames there, huh? Or recently we had some drop frames. My apologies, everybody. Looks like that was just now. Looks like I've dropped 130 frames this stream, which is only 0.1%, but it's certainly more than zero, which is what you prefer. I'd prefer to have zero. All right. So again, I only had two shows to talk about. So we don't have much to talk about here. Let's see. How does this go through? I got to see how this works. Where does this line up? Okay, so this lines up here. I needed those frames. I'm sorry, Lord Crashington. Sometimes the frames just escape. All right, now it's the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you playing? What are you watching right now? What's going on with you? What do you got going? Are you reading anything? Checking out anything? Excited about any games? You got your Diablo 4, and you spent for the early edition so you can play it. You got Street Fighter 6 preloaded so you can check that shit out. Like, what's up? You were very excited about Goodbye Volcano High, which was supposed to come out this month, but now is coming out the end of August 29th. They pushed it 2 months, basically. Like 2.5 months, they pushed it back, which is great. Good for them. Good for Goodbye Volcano High. I hope everything goes great for them. But yeah, that's a shame. But they were like, yeah, we're not going to hit it. So we're going to push it. And they only push it 2 months, which is cool. And they're going to have a new demo coming out, which is good too. But I'm excited for Goodbye Volcano High, so I hope it goes great. And then I'm going to start reading what you all put. I'm just going to tell you that there's a new mini set for Hearthstone, and I haven't used any of the new cards at all. I got the new mini set. I had 2,000 gold. I bought it with the gold. Used my 2,000 gold. Have not built a new thing. There is the 30 mana 15/15 with taunt with lifesteal card, 30 mana card. It's reduced for like every, the smaller your deck, the less it costs, basically. So like a 30 card deck, it would cost 30 mana, but like as you go, and that's not the kind of style I would like to play ever. But that is interesting that card exists, so I'm like tempted to try to figure out a deck that it would work in. But I also don't play a lot of Warlock, so I don't know. But I am still interested in Hearthstone stuff. I'm hoping that I see some decks with the new cards. I know there's like also there's a lot of cards that work across that are like multi-hero, multi-class cards, and I always like that. I always think that's neat. So I'm going to investigate. I'm going to try to find some new decks. There's a new Evolve card, so I might bust out Evolve Shaman again to use this new card. I have to see if that card is going to be something that I want to take a look at. So we'll see. I don't know yet. I'm figuring it out. Now I'm going to read what you wrote. Lashbrook says, I'm playing Waiting for SF6, Street Fighter 6 to unlock in an hour and 20 minutes. Hell yeah, Lashbrook. I'm excited for you. That sounds great. Where does this go? Sorry, I'm trying to do both of these things at the same time, and that ain't working out. So this is going to go here, and that's going to go there. All right, I got it. Love the new season of I Think You Should Leave. Haven't watched it yet. Lord Crashington would like to. I know that Connor O'Malley is in there, and that's a great choice. Still on this guy 4, Picross Season 9 or S9, and Front Mission Remake. Hell yeah, John. All sound great. Ghost Val was probably doing Street Fighter 6 at some point. Yeah, I mean, that's not my jam, but like that seems like it might be a well-made one of those. This is our Beam Saber Lance. So you can see there's a spot for a Beam Saber there and a Beam Saber there. I'm going to poke out in the front. That's a silly thing. Now we can start working on the shield. Because again, this kit is weird. When was the Front Mission remake? Let's see. Very busy, says Aristofan. I'm close to the end of Tears of the Kingdom. Hell yeah. I sprang for early access to Diablo 4, and this afternoon my middle child graduated from high school. Aristofan, congratulations on your middle child graduating from high school. That's rad. I think that feels like a very big deal. That's awesome. Also, yeah, it's June, so there'll be graduations and such. Yes, congratulations to you. That's cool. Lord Crash says, planning on seeing the new Spider-Verse movie tomorrow after work. Nice. I will see that when it's on streaming, or I'll rent it. I will you know what, I'll say this. I'll probably rent that and not wait for streamers. I'll probably just rent it. But I'm not going to go to the movie theater because I don't want to. The first one has been on Switch for a while. Yes. I think it comes to Steam at the end of the month. Yes. The Front Mission remake came out on Steam a while back, and yeah, I think it is getting a Steam release. I believe that's right. Wristband, it is a big deal. She's headed to New York for college in the fall. Hell yeah. I think you did miss that, Ghost Val. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. We're just a fan. That's cool. Yeah. Enjoy your summer with your child before they make the big time move. Figure their stuff out. One last thing, we'll talk more about games if they come up here in towards the end of the stream here. I think Front Mission 2 Remake is also going to be out this summer. Oh, nice. One thing that I did want to bring up is according to, again, this is according to Fidelity, so we don't know what their numbers are. Bloomberg wasn't sure. This write-up from the East Bay Times, not sure as well. But apparently... now, obviously, Elon Musk overpaid for Twitter. He overpaid, right? And then he saddled them with debt. And then advertisers were like, it's time to go. And selling Twitter Blue did not work out as the big revenue that they probably knew it wouldn't, but had to pretend like it was going to. But the situation they're in now is, according to, again, Fidelity, Twitter is now worth 1/3 of what Elon Musk paid for it. Now, again, obviously, he overpaid because it was a funny number. But even with him overpaying, it's still not worth how much it's still now only worth 1/3. And that is awesome. Now, a 1/3 seems high, says John. Yeah. But it is awesome. It's particularly awesome in my opinion because Twitter Blue was going to save Twitter. This whole thing, all of that shit, all of the awesome people that were like, well, it's finally time for me to go, that got alienated because of that and other things, but that was the last straw. And it was like, well, it's okay because Twitter Blue is really going to make things work. And it's very clear it did not. Mission accomplished energy, yes. Yes, there's free speech all over Twitter now. Indeed. I'm having trouble with this piece here, but I have the part separator, which I can just use to get that in there, and then pop it out. Yeah, we did it. We did it, everybody. And now we have to get these claws that look kind of like daggers but aren't daggers. Gotta get these claws in. Claws go in, and then A21 goes over there. No, A21 already went on there. A20 goes on there. We're going to finish the shield because there's only one piece left of the shield. We got this, and then we got D18 at the back, which is how it'll slide into the, I believe this part will slide into the connector that will put this on the arm when the time comes. I had to use my part separator for the first time on my Zaku 2 last week. I'll tell you what, this thing, I don't know if this thing works better than just using the spudgers I got for a couple dollars 6 years ago. I don't know if this is better. I don't think this has replaced anything, but putting a poly cap on here and then putting two pieces of plastic around the poly cap, you know that time where you're trying to get them together and they keep sliding? Doing that, especially the ones that have a hole in the top, this is a bad example, but the ones that have the hole in the top, I will tell you, this is incredible as a part separator for that. Actually, separating parts works great, but I don't know if it works better than a spudger. I don't know if this was worth the money I paid for it. But pushing polycaps through that is really nice. I got a very nice part separator from Gundam Base Tokyo and a nice little snipper kit. Ooh, nice. That's fun, John. But these things do come in very handy, and I would recommend them. I do think that they are worth picking up. Again, especially if you don't have a part separator, or you don't have spudgers. If you haven't bought like a spudger set like I have here, again, you got the heavy metal one, which I don't recommend for this, and you've got a bunch of different plastic ones. This is where I keep all my stuff. I've got my screwdriver for old kits that require Phillips screws. I've got two of the, which I don't really use that much, but it's really nice to have, these jeweler's tweezers, because they're opposite. Normally tweezers you are pressing to close. These you are squeezing to open, so the pressure is different, which is great. Again, nobody needs these things, but they're really nice to have. When I do want to have them, they're great. Would have loved that over butter knives growing up. Indeed. Butter knives, I definitely used a butter knife as my brick separator before the Lego brick separators came out. Totally. Oh, yes, it's always nice to get more. I have a ton of these. And eventually the wedge here kind of goes. But I have a ton of these. Whole mess of them. Always nice to have. All right, and then we just put this piece in here. And our shield is done. We got our shield done. We'll throw, you know what? We got a couple minutes left tonight. Not a ton of people around. Let's we'll throw a little paint here on there. A little marker, not paint, but we'll throw a little marker on there. Next stream is on Saturday. We're going to continue this kit. We'll work on, I believe, the shoulders. Yeah, we'll work on the shoulders, and then we'll start working on the arms. Get those together. Get that all looking good. That'll be Saturday. We'll talk about some anime and some video game stuff. I'll have some thoughts about a few things. Yeah, Shield Complete, indeed. We'll chat about a bunch of stuff on Saturday. I'm sure. Look forward to it. It'll be fun. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Maybe we'll talk about that really nice Dynamite or Rampage that's happening tomorrow. Because, boy, there's a lot of cool matches. I didn't look them up because I don't want to be spoiled because they already happened. But in kayfabe, they're happening tomorrow live at 10 p.m. Even though they're in the same venue with some of the same audience members holding the same signs from Wednesday. Oh, yeah, and then the one last thing is these claws pop out a little bit. It's not that noticeable, but you can see there's a hole through there now, and then there's no hole. There. So for whatever reason, we did the chest and the head, and then we did all of the weapons, and that's just so weird, but that is what this kit, that's the build order of this kit. I did not check out Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operator 2. That seemed very gacha in a way that I am not into. But yes, John, I also shared your opinion. Like, this does not seem like something I want to get into. Look, if a couple of my friends who are real Gundam and Gunpla fiends, if they are talking positively about it, I might check it out. I usually kind of go on their recommendation for Gunpla games. But that seems predatory in a way that I am not into. I mean, at all. All right, we are going to raid. That is how we end every stream tonight, or stream ever, is we're going to find somebody out there doing cool shit that we want to go hang out. Which makes sense because they want your money, indeed. Oh, the one good thing I can say is they have a large library of characters. Yes. It's always nice to have a bunch of characters, but yeah. All right, who are we raiding? Who's doing stuff? I mean, I guess we'll go raid Remap or Radio. I guess we'll go raid them. I don't know how long they're still going, but they're all still hanging out. Oh, there's a countdown. I don't know what the countdown is for. They might be done. There's a countdown happening, and I don't know what it's for, so I don't think we should go raid them. Oh, no, it's not a countdown. It's an in-game timer. Okay, we're definitely going to go raid them. I don't know what's happening here, but I think that was an in-game timer, not them being done. Trivia. It's some kind of trivia thing. Yeah, okay. We're going to go raid. We're going to go check out this whole new thing called Remap Radio. Find out what that's about. Celebrate the good times. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight on the old Build with Baer Workshop. I'll see you on Saturday, I hope. I appreciate y'all being here. Small but mighty crew tonight, but you were active in chat, and I love to see that. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, VODs. Goodbye.